Jose Berrios is preparing to pitch with a stress fracture in his elbow. Cody Ponce is down with an ACL sprain, and the Toronto Blue Jays are already being linked to a blockbuster trade for Minnesota Twins all-star Joe Ryan to save this starting rotation. We are barely out of the gates. The echoes of that heartbreaking Game 7 World Series loss are still ringing in the rafters of the Rogers Center, and the front office is already staring down a pitching crisis that could derail this entire postseason push before the weather even warms up. You do not survive the AL East battle with a compromised rotation. It is a bloodbath of a division, and right now, the armor is cracking. Let's break down exactly what is happening with this pitching staff, because the attrition is terrifying. Cody Ponce suffering an ACL sprain earlier this week is a brutal blow to our pitching depth. Ponce was supposed to be that reliable swingman, the guy who could eat innings and keep the bullpen fresh. But the real alarm bell, the siren blaring across Blue Jays Nation right now, is Jose Berrios. Pitching with a stress fracture in his elbow? Every Jays fan knows that La Maquina is an absolute warrior. He takes the ball every fifth day, he never complains, and he battles. But a stress fracture is a ticking time bomb. You cannot mess around with elbow structural integrity, especially not when you are relying on him to be a cornerstone alongside Kevin Gausman. The biomechanics of pitching put an immense amount of torque on that elbow, and asking Berrios to grind through a stress fracture is a massive gamble by the medical staff and the management. If that elbow pops, or if he alters his mechanics to compensate for the pain and blows out his shoulder, our championship window takes a catastrophic hit. This immediate desperation is exactly why Bleacher Report's Zachary D. Reimer just floated the Toronto Blue Jays as an early aggressive fit for Joe Ryan. And looking at the roster moves today, this isn't just idle chatter, this is a strategic necessity. Let's dive deep into the profile of Joe Ryan and why he is the exact piece this puzzle is missing. Ryan is 29 years old, coming off a breakout season, and he is making just $6.2 million in base salary this year. In the modern landscape of Major League Baseball, getting an all-star caliber starter for under $7 million is the ultimate market inefficiency. It gives the front office the financial flexibility to stay under the luxury tax thresholds while adding premium talent. But it's not just about the money. It's about the stuff. Reimer pointed out that Ryan's command is elite, and his stuff plus metrics rated on par with Dylan Cease last season. For those diving into the advanced analytics, Stuff Plus evaluates the physical characteristics of a pitch: velocity, release point, spin rate, and movement. Having a Stuff Plus rating equal to Cease means Ryan possesses elite swing and miss arsenals that play perfectly in high-leverage situations. His fastball has that invisible rising action, the vertical approach angle that makes hitters swing under it, which is incredibly effective inside the hitter-friendly confines of the Rogers Center. He just came out and threw 5-1-3 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts in his first start. The guy is locked in. However, acquiring a controllable, low-cost, high-upside arm like Joe Ryan comes with a staggering price tag. According to Baseball Trade Values, Ryan carries $49.6 million in surplus trade value. If you are the Minnesota Twins and you are looking to fast-forward a rebuild, Joe Ryan is your golden ticket. They held onto him at the deadline last year despite moving 40% of their major league roster, which tells you they know exactly what they have, and they will not let him go for a package of mid-tier lottery tickets. So what does this mean for our prospect watch? The Blue Jays farm system is going to be raided if this deal goes down. The front office will have to look hard at the Buffalo Bison's roster. In my opinion, you are looking at parting ways with at least 2 top 10 organizational prospects, plus a major league ready piece. We are talking about the guys who survived the spring training cuts, the prospects we've been dreaming about taking over in 2027 and 2028. But that is the cost of doing business when you are trying to win a World Series right now. Think about the dynamic of our current lineup. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is in his prime, demanding greatness. George Springer is aging, and his window for contributing at an elite level is shrinking by the day. Bo Bichette needs to see that this front office is committed to winning. You cannot look these veterans in the eye after they bled on the field in Game 7 of the World Series and tell them you are going to rely on waiver claims and AAA depth to replace Berrios and Ponce. You have to go get a killer. You have to go get a Joe Ryan. If we look at the strategic outlook, inserting Joe Ryan into this rotation completely changes the math for the manager. Imagine a postseason rotation of Gausman, Ryan, a healthy Chris Bassett, and whatever Berrios can give you. Ryan's ability to miss bats takes the pressure off a bullpen that is already going to be taxed by these early season injuries. Furthermore, Ryan's elite command means fewer walks, fewer men on base, and less stress on our infield defense. It allows the manager to deploy his high-leverage relievers more efficiently, rather than burning them in the fifth inning because a spot starter couldn't find the strike zone. Let's take the pulse of the media and the fans, because the temperature in Toronto is boiling right now. If you turn on Sportsnet or TSN today, the panic is palpable. The Toronto media is dissecting every single pitch Berríos throws, looking for a wince, looking for a drop in velocity. The Twitter and X timelines are a mess of anxiety. Blue Jays Nation is suffering from a massive World Series hangover. We tasted the ultimate victory, we were one game away, and to start the following season with structural damage to our rotation feels like a cruel joke. The fans are demanding action. There is a very real sentiment on the streets that the front office has been too conservative in the past, holding on to prospects a year too long instead of pushing all the chips into the middle of the table. The optimism for this season is absolutely real. This is a pennant-winning roster, but the frustration is creeping in because fans know that injuries in April can cost you the division in September. The AL East does not wait for anyone. The Yankees are trending up, the Orioles are relentless, and if the Jays try to patch this rotation with duct tape, they will be left behind. Looking at the roster moves today, the front office has a monumental decision to make. Do they let the guys in Buffalo develop, hoping that Berríos' elbow miraculously holds together and that some diamond in the rough emerges from the minor leagues? Or do they recognize that flags fly forever, that this core is ready to win a championship, and that Joe Ryan is the exact type of pitcher who can get them back to the Fall Classic? In my opinion, a prospect needs more time in Buffalo until he proves he can dominate at the major league level. Joe Ryan is dominating right now. You cannot hug your prospects when the World Series trophy is within your grasp. The surplus value is high, the cost will be painful, but the cost of wasting a year of Vladdy, Bo, and Gaussman's prime is infinitely worse. Here is my final verdict. The front office must pull the trigger. Ross Atkins and the management team need to get on the phone with Minnesota immediately. You do not wait until the July trade deadline when the Braves, the Mets, and the Dodgers are driving up the price. You strike now. You bring Joe Ryan to the Rogers Center, you stabilize this rotation, and you send a message to the entire American League that the Toronto Blue Jays are not here to participate. They are here to conquer. Let me know what you think about this potential blockbuster. Drop down in the comments and type, "Go Jays," if you think we need to trade for Joe Ryan right now, or tell me if you think the asking price is too high. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for daily, relentless Blue Jays coverage, and keep it locked right here as we chase that World Series ring.